Karmine Corp sits pretty with a clinch major in a World's main event, but Moist has not been granted that relief yet. A win for Moist clinches major. Let's see if they can do it and climb that mountain ahead.
So whilst the top 5 in Europe seems to have been pretty steadfast, Hogamo are challenging exactly that and achieves. Moist Esports are a team that, whilst in that category, have struggled to punch up during this split.
Yes, but they have a good opportunity here. If you watched that K-Corp game earlier, you saw BDS found a lot of success coming out there and were actually able to box in KC and went against my expectations. So maybe if that offense really gets started early, might be able to keep K-Corp on the back foot, and who knows, maybe the upset happens.
Let's find out, shall we? They've come close so many times now. The Game 7's not gone the way. They've been reverse swept. Feels like everything has happened apart from getting the dub when it comes to these top teams, but Moist Esports do seem like they are there or thereabouts. For KC, this is about re-establishing where they are. They were steadfast, #1 in Europe. Nobody was questioning it. And then Vitality turned up at the last possible second, the last possible transfer area, and it seems to have been stolen away from them. Now they got BDS challenging with this brand new Rise fella, whoever that guy is, and they now need to put themselves back down, put their foot on the ground and just say, hey, whoa, this was our season. You're not taking that from us.
Yep, don't forget about K-Corp. They are still incredibly dangerous. Got one of the iciest overtime players in the world, if not the best. He's got 21 OT game winners in the season in Itachi. I'm just saying, don't go to overtime against these guys if you're Moist. You want to take them down in regulation.
It goes without saying, battle of the original, the OG Moist squad. Joyo and Vatira. Vatira's decision to go ahead and try and join the French powerhouse over in case. It actually exotic. He jumped, he threatened, and he scored from it. Actually, Exotic wasn't the one that jumped, but he'll be the one that gets credited with the goal.
Yeah, Cash. Oh, he really believed Vatira there. Yeah, he was totally bid on that one. And Vatira just let that ball die right in front of the net. Tough one. That's why you play the ball, right?
Just jump. Honestly, just jump. You got 2 players behind you. You might as well just put the fear into the final player. And so what we were talking about earlier on Achieves. High-level Rocket League is becoming such a educated guess when it comes to defense. You really don't know what the right decision is until that ball has already gone past you.
Yep. You really do have to rely on that instinct, that game sense, and of course, a really good understanding of the current layout of the pitch. It's all about that decision-making process, and it has to happen so fast. Incredibly difficult to be a strong offensive team in this game.
So if Moist Esports find themselves a goal down already, although that's about to change. My goodness, as quickly as I got that sentence out, it was all completely irrelevant.
Not the first open net that they've allowed this just today either, really.
I thought you were about to say that's not the first time you've been completely wrong, Shogun. I was going to take that one personally.
Yeah, no. I've never known you to be wrong.
Have you? Wait, you haven't been on enough European shows this split, mate.
Never once.
Your opinion of me would crumble into dust.
It continues to be a very strange day for K-Corp, excuse me. A couple open nets being allowed here and there against various teams. Something weird is going on in there somewhere along the line.
It's not quite as clinical as it has been. This was the team that any mistake, big or small, was immediately punished. And it can be a difficult position to find yourself in Rocket League where you can feel invincible. Winning is easy, you know, if you can keep that going.
Yes.
But the moment we introduced this open format, the ability to lose became an important one. Your ability to bounce back from that and start putting the results back together. Because at the top of Europe has been very streak-focused. Oh, what a play from Itachi.
Hello, Itachi. I mean, talk about just putting the work in right here, putting the pressure on them to put that one bottom of the net and just make it look nice and easy as you rotate out. Exotic trying to get that all the way to the back post to make sure it went in. Actually went too far, and Itachi will cover that up. Great press from K-Corp. If you're Moist, you're not really in that bad of a position. Under 2 minutes. you haven't really felt like you've been super boxed in all game, which is, in my opinion, a definite plus. So you hate to see K-Corp be in the driving seat for any extended period of time. It's just a matter of, can they actually generate shots on target if you're Moist is the next thing to look for.
Exotic still got the ball, and he's dangerous. The challenge on the goal line. Moist Esports happy just to hold all the players back. They're not as quick on the immediate challenge, although that's going to bounce out wherever. Juicy with an opportunity, he puts it straight down the middle. There was 3 different players on Casey that could save that shot.
Yeah, not a lot to actually pick from the net, even though it felt initially like there would be, but quick recoveries on defense so tough, but they're not done yet. Juicy skids one out into the middle, Itachi all over it. You can see it coming.
Just going to have to make that decision early and get that extra touch, set yourself up well. Ooh, 45 seconds on the clock. KC have to do a bit of defending here. Off the wall, Cash is going to chase. Exotic pinches. Joyo in field, and Itachi was the one that was there early to it. Juicy lays it off, over to Cash. Cash wants to go by himself, heavy on the first touch. KC have escaped yet again.
Well, Joyo forced into a bad spot, but Juicy's already there to cover him up. All about possession right now. If you're Moist, you really don't want to concede. Juicy pressing. Joyo had to force it. Felt like probably the best chance to score a potentially more open net than the rest, but now time is short, and they will not be punished. It's off the bar. Transition back the other way. Joyo to space. Over Itachi needs a little help. No one's there for it.
Where is
K-Corp, easy clear.
I'm looking at boost counts. Cash had close to 100 that entire time. Huh. Okay, well, interesting. Maybe have somebody there next time. I'm not criticizing or anything like that. Yeah, that was a bit of a weird way to see the final few seconds go out there. But hey, KC have managed to get the first game win. And Exotic, I feel, was the front runner on that one. He played incredibly well. He has been the person on that transition to make the second guesses happen on Moist Esports. And Moist Esports are blinking a little bit too often. Yeah,
Moist, they started to bring the offense to bear a little bit more towards the end of that game, but in general, K-Corp pretty comfortable here. It didn't feel like they had to do anything crazy. Again, it's not like this massive outpouring of offense in high pressure situations on Moist defense, but it's really that inability to stay on offense for any extended a period of time that kind of came back and bit Moist here a little bit in game 1. So looking for a little bit more consistent control of the ball, or at least fight for it more in the midfield than on your own half. But K-Corp, again, it's not like they generated super dangerous opportunities, so you're okay on the defensive side if you're Moist, I think.
I think Moist are too okay, if anything. They're very comfortable sending all 3 back to the goal line. And I don't like that, especially against a player like Exotic, who is so capable of those transition plays. It feels like Moist are just giving up the moment they see Casey on the ball defensively and just go, all right, we can go back. I guess we'll have another opportunity later on. Like, no, go for it. We saw from Team Liquid earlier on, my goodness, what a change of fortunes that team had, but if you play at pace against a team that's on the strong on the transition, you can force panic, and that's exactly what they've done here. Full send, and they've got a result for it.
Got that really nice lead touch out of their half. Juicy, a little bit fortunate there, running into Itachi trying to get the demo, but it ends up working out just fine. A very favorable bounce back into the midfield, and Joyo nice enough to put that one away.
Oh, that's another good kickoff for them, but Tierra had to stick around. Exotic. Yeah, this is what I want to see more of from Moist. They've got to go.
Yeah.
Pace is a strong suit on this team, but if they're going to get into a mechanical battle against KC, I don't know. Because mechanically, I think they match up. Second man positioning and the follow, I think KC win that.
Agreed. And decision-making so important. If they started to get into the mechanic war, it would become a lot of fireworks very quickly.
Oh, that's awkward. Itachi's got to take on the challenge. Does well to go for the good old fairy pig, just don't lose strategy. And that is actually close to target. Who's the first on the follow? It is Cash. Cash has played well today from the bits and pieces that we have seen from him. Struggled a little bit yesterday, but he's putting the naysayers and the thoughts of some sort of voodoo curse behind him.
He also gave up the long
like, as much as he gets talked about, one good performance, it just disappears, and everyone stops talking about it. Oh, that's a bit awkward from Juicy.
They're okay. They actually have a decent opportunity, but Itachi, ooh, such good timing in the midfield, plus a demo. K-Corp in a decent spot, and they will score.
Again, it just doesn't feel like K-Corp had to do much. Juicy, he got caught on the stutter step right there, got crossed over, and then got bumped. Just caught out. And that's 1-1. KC are letting the half opportunities that they get work every single time. Now it's Joyo against Vatira. Leaves it for Exotic off the backboard. Follow up from Itachi. Well, if you just left the room for a second whilst Moist were winning, I'm sorry, you just missed everything as K-Corp have taken the lead.
Man, talk about a beautiful fake air dribble right there. Forced Joyo to go all the way back to the goal line, let Exotic run up on that ball, and of course Exotic not the final nail in the coffin, but that misdirection paying huge dividends there for K-Corp. Such a smart approach.
Juicy looking for the backboard. Exotic had it read a while ago. Now Joyo did get two players to jump, but in the corner it's awkward to make a play unless you're Cash. Wow. Had to be heads up there if you're K-Corp and just respect that Cash could do that. And now the infield, again, double commit. Surely boost total stun to run low for KC. And it has finally broken down. Juicy secures it.
Look at this placement from Cash. He sees the triple commit, and the most important part, get that ball down and to the right. Go to the complete opposite end. If it's in, it's in. If it's not, you got Juicy there to cover it up. Great job from Cash, picking apart that defensive positioning in K-Corp. Next time, just like you needed Moist to have somebody there at 0 seconds, next time send a little less.
Send more, if anything. You know what? Commit.
Yeah, we need a great
harder. Oh, wait a minute.
Crossbar to come in.
Make sure there's no recovery, just all in. There's Joyo. Forced to wait for Vatira. Goes up from the ceiling. Got the reset! Oh my goodness, that was so close. Oh, I was pulling for him there. That was an incredible play. Now we go to the opposite side of the field. Cashew has been popping off in this game, and he's making everybody respect the Cash Cannon.
Trying to squeeze one down the goal line, and this is more what I wanted to see. They're out of their own half. They're spending a bit more time on the blue half, still looking to generate a few more shots, and they will generate one here, and Itachi all over it. Great stop and a wonderful follow-up from Exotic to keep command and buy some time, but Moist not done yet.
Moist have had a fantastic period of play throughout this. Now off the backboard, oh my goodness, Juicy! Well, he's got the brace, and he more than deserves it.
Big boost steal, and then look at him use all of it to perfection here off the backboard. Catch your own touch. Nobody ready for it over on KC. Excellent execution.
Juicy is just lingering, waiting to see what happens, and his team are winning the midfield skirmishes. Now Joyo, oh, he was read so early. And Juicy, at the very least, had the worst case scenario in mind. Now the infield yet again for Itachi. That's so difficult to play. Couldn't quite get the mechanics to come off.
Ooh, with the bump, they might put that in. Okay, never mind.
Yeah, it's maybe asking a little bit too much. For now, Vatira, who has had some very strong solo carries of the ball, didn't quite come from it. Exotic did well there, considering Cash could have threatened either a pass to Joyo or the shot on target. Had to respect both.
I think the best plan of action here if you're Moist Esports, if you got a chance, put one on target. You need to keep K-Corp honest. You have to force them all the way back. Juicy pulls one out of the top of the net. Huge stop, and Exotic trying to get up early. KC looking to try and increase the speed at which they go for some of these plays and see if they can catch that Moist defense a step behind.
Yeah, I think if they can hold this at a 2-3, it'll be a massive statement for Moist, because it does feel like K-Corp have managed to score with minimal pushing required. Yeah, nice to maybe get rid of that in only the second game of the series. That's very helpful, though. Right now to Joy, who can control it. Challenged early. Juicy is the last one back. Vatira's trying to chase him, and Juicy just skipped past him. Got the ball, is still on target. Cash managed to get there in time.
Full recover. This is so awkward for Moist. They're in terrible spots. Itachi's coming to drop the hammer, and it gets smashed into the corner. Joyo just saying, please, somebody get this ball out of here, and bang! Top right corner. 1 second left. Vatira ices one.
It just felt inevitable. Brilliant pass from Exotic. And Vapi does not miss.
Absolute beauty from Vatira. My goodness.
That's perfect as you can hit that ball. Do that 100 times. That would be the one that you would pick as the 100 and say, that's the one I'm most happy with.
That's the one.
So, ball hits the floor and we go to overtime. But Moist Esports will probably be the happier of the two teams to finally get there. This is a massive swing game now because Moist were as good as over the line.
Big opportunity to be sure. Don't let Vatira do it to you. Cash finds a nice strong clear. It will be wide of the mark, and Exotic, he knew someone was going to come for him, so he just elected the way of distance, and Joyo unable to chop one down towards the net.
Vatira does not like the idea of losing twice on one day. Off the wall, Juicy, who has looked incredible in this game too. Needs more of it. Cash has just looked incredible all day. What can they cook? Back down. Nobody challenging there from Moist, but they got a bit of a panic touch from Exotic. You've had kind of been the standout for me up to this point. Oh, what a pass. Juicy. Shut down by Itachi. Cash is kind of on his lonesome until the reinforcements arrived.
Yeah, really great interruption there in the midfield, not allowing that counterattack through for free. Little miscommunication from Moist. Cash, very awkward pickup there in the midfield, but Moist actually going to have to give away possession unless Joyo can make something happen, just going up to the ceiling for the sake of it, and actually came down with the ball.
That's how they're about, but the challenge from Cash on his own teammate, that works. Keeping an eye now on the boost totals. Running low now for Moist. This is how they got caught out in 1 second. Does it happen again? They're jumping,
no.
They're flailing, they were almost beat! And it's still going to remain overtime. Itachi turned. On the respawn, Vatira's moving on in. Nobody made contact with the ball.
Oh, and Itachi's just like, what do? I don't have a lot of boost. I'll just try and keep possession, and it's going to work out. Exotic wants help. There's Vatira. Top of the net. It's going to be too high. Cash will clear that away. Moist finally a chance to breathe, come up from underwater. And KC going to try and reset the attack.
The momentum of this game has shifted massively in K-Corp's favor. Itachi faked him out, puts it in. K-Corp, from 1 goal down at 1 second, have won it in overtime. And that's why I love this esports.
Great job from Vatira, too. He could have taken the one-on-one, but he saw Itachi sitting out there in the middle of the pitch and knew all he has to do is dish this right, force the guy to jump, and Itachi will do the rest. Chalk up number 22 OT game winner for that guy. 2 for 7, 700 score. Itachi all over the pitch. Everybody on KC, really. Quite a game from everybody on the pitch, actually. Nobody under 500.
I feel like Itachi's like 50-50 on if he's going to hit the ball or fake it. Like, he just keeps doing it, and if I'm Moist, I'm livid at this point because it keeps happening. You keep thinking to yourself, surely not again, and he does it again. But it is working. And for Moist Esports, like, they keep biting on the fakes every single time.
It's not easy. It's some wonderful misdirection. Again, KC so good at making an opponent respect the approach. And to be fair, I mean, what are you supposed to do? You have to kind of freeze on the goal line, and that's why defense, while I think it might be a little bit easier than offense because you don't have the burden of actually beating people, you just got to hit the ball out. There is something to be said about a well-played offense is incredibly difficult to stop. And Juicy trying his best in that last game. I mean, he was really playing an excellent game there, but to now be down 2-0 in the series against KC when you're playing pretty solid ball, it's tough here for Moist right now.
2-0 in a series where, for all intents and purposes, you're thinking this should be 1-1. We were winning with a second left. There's not many sports or esports where 1 second is an eternity.
Cash has brought out the long car. He says the Fennec is not good enough. Give me the dominance. It's
There we go. I like the idea that like he would start in a Fennec, and then every single loss that Moist takes, the car gets flatter and flatter.
Yeah, exactly. So once they're down 3, he pulls out the Batmobile.
Yeah. What is the next one? Be a big plank, wouldn't it? Get the breakout, and then it's Batmobile.
Well, Batmobile is Plank, I thought.
Oh, it is. Yes. Sorry, my bad. It's breakout's a separate one, isn't it?
I think so, or at least it used to be. I don't know if it still is. That whole standardization thing broke my brain.
Oh, Joyo's got time. Maybe a little bit too much of it. Tachi does clear. Tachi, who has been an absolute thorn for his opponent team.
Double commit. And
Well, passing options for Itachi. Pops the ball up high. Juicy pre-jumped him. Well, at least the confidence is still there.
it's a good move. I mean, it's really the only place for the ball to go towards space, and Cash finally steals one away in the midfield. Can he make something happen towards the backboard? And he will just drill this into the net. Oh my goodness.
I don't think I've seen a player where the nickname is more apt. Because you see him do this and you go, yeah, that's the cannon. There's no other way to describe him.
Fire away, buddy. Fire away. On the board.
1-0. We've been here before, have Moist. The offense has not been the question. We know they're good there. We know what they can do. We know how much trouble they can give KC. We also know how much trouble Moist can give themselves.
That's the hard part. Sometimes the game gets away from you, and Juicy
Cash,
misses
good
a
luck.
big one. Cash will not win it. You're right. Good luck. He needed it, and it was nowhere to be found.
Yeah, Juicy. That was an ambitious play, but he's up against Itachi, and Cash has got to play that because he's seeing out of the corner of his eye, he's seeing Vatira. And we know Vatira will happily just chase down a bump. One of those positions where no matter what you do, it feels like the wrong decision. But again, Moist Esports get a lead, and it just doesn't last, and Exotic delayed the shot. Joyo did well to just hold himself on the backboard.
It's that lethal trap game. That first touch is getting so good from so many players in this league. Trap like that puts you in a tight bind defensively, and Joyo, great awareness there to know he could let that one bounce. Didn't have to panic. Got the ball to Juicy cleanly as well. Off the backboard, nobody around for it. Cash just ranging to his left to keep it in play.
Joyo now up. A little bit quiet throughout this series. Don't really hold that against him too much, though, given the performance that he provided yesterday to at least get them to this point. They'll be wanting a little bit more from the Talisman.
Yeah, hasn't been a lot of opportunities as well for him to really flex those muscles. Exotic is going to pull the string on 2 people. They both went to the backboard.
Yeah, but surely this time they won't fake it. I mean, come on. They've been faking it the last 2 games. Like, surely they'll start playing the ball. Casey just disrespect. Just disrespect every single time. This has been going on since game 1. Vatira jumped to the air and just not touching the ball whatsoever. And ever since then, Moist Esports have been jumping at shadows.
Ooh. You have to jump at them because they start making touches like that, and they keep you honest. They show you they can execute. It's kind of similar to that fighting game conditioning. You know, you got to get up there, you got to take the ball away, and then bang. Nobody comes up with it, and you just look like you don't know how to play defense. And Joyo under duress in the net. Excellent stop. A little bit of space to work with. Dishes one to Cash, cuts it down, and Vatira, excellent follow through on the net.
Jeeves is saying that KC have taught Moist Esports to take the throw.
It's tough.
We go back into the midfield. Cash. Oh, he's over the top. Got bumped, though. Back into the mid. Joyo. He left it. Oh, they faked them. And it has worked. Anything you can do, we can do as well.
Oh, it works both ways. That's the unfortunate reality. Itachi knew he had to get up the sidewall, but only had 4 boosts. And I think if he has anything more, he might actually get that even with 10. He gets caught with nothing. His 2 teammates can't figure out the trajectory. And KC concede again.
Well, this is must win here for Moist. Joyo. Oh, look for Exotic. Exotic pre-jumped over the top of the player. I've never seen that. Well, he's not in some time. Exotic. Oh, he's got a little bit of a rough position for Moist Esports, who happy to see Exotic not make contact with the ball.
Oh my
so
gosh.
It's that Karmine.
That's a touch a Dominus player goes for. No Octane player thinks of that.
No Octane player can do that. The option is just not there. The Octane's there for stability and strong challenges.
Yep.
The Dominus when you want to get wild with it.
Oh yeah. So yeah, I can get that.
The Dominus is the I think I can car.
It really is. I'm waiting for the great rebrand of the Dominus. Someone will Photoshop that. Oh, nice pass. Oh, but it's too far.
I'll have to get you into a conversation later on with Cole about what two Dominus on the field looked like, because he was... well, we started on this a Domini at that point.
Sure, that's fair, I guess.
Well, a few moments. The clutch
Pass
moments
the
have
bounce.
gone
Got it.
against
No.
Moist previously. It almost happened yet again. KC looking to try and grab one more chance, and it does hit the floor. We have overtime, and KC, if they get this, are as good as through.
Moist Esports. Oh, you got away with murder there. They were so slow, and they just let that ball bounce off the backboard. Very fortunate that one didn't just go straight into the back. Slow to it, and Joya wants to close them down, and Itachi somewhat takes it away. His teammates will recover, and Cash, he's been having quite the setup day in the Dominus in this game, as that one's off the bar. Nasty bounce. Juicy, I think, got a piece taken out of him, and Vatira stands tall in the net. Excellent stop.
Vatira 1v2s. He just has that one to the repertoire that he's already got infield. Oh, that was so selfless and exotic. How on earth did he read where that play was going?
Especially with the Dominus coming down on you, you expect that hard power shot to the top of the net. And so to stay there and just let that pass come out and stay right on it, absolutely mind-blowing on defense.
Moist Esports now in the defensive position. Got to find a way out. Vatira, he delays. Just threatens it. Itachi with a pass to, unfortunately, the invisible man this time about. Oh, that was wasteful. And now the double commit. Moist Esports. They're getting in their own way at the moment, and now they're really in a rough spot.
Okay, if they can spread back out. Nice piece from Cash there just to get a hold of it. Sort of stall this out a little bit, but you really need to get some distance between your net and this ball kicked into the space, and Joyo from the ceiling, or at least the backboard finds a clear, and again, that chance to breathe for Moist.
Well, they needed that, although that's slightly off target. Crossbar on its way through. AC fully in control of this overtime. Does that mean anything? Not really. Hasn't got you a goal yet. Juicy to Joyo. Doesn't happen. Moist are a step behind. Although they are on the breakaway. Vatira recognizes that he's in danger. Need to try and bring in the rest of the crew.
Ooh, okay. Thought Joyo was going to have something there, but didn't really find himself in as strong as a position as I thought he did, and Cash just wants to keep this one on the blue half.
Early chance from Juicy. That could have gone anywhere. Oh, Vatira, backboard, self-set, 2 players committed. I'd say that's roughly the right amount of respect that you give to a Vatira backboard play. He's going to go for it yet again. This time he's kind of scuffed the hit.
Ooh. Out to space, free ball KC. What do you do with it?
And the heart just sinks for Moist fans everywhere. Whenever you see Vatira Itachi with the ball, with a chance to just delay the play. You just don't know what he's going to do. He's putting you in that mix-up. Well, okay. Moist have stabilized in this overtime. Cash is up. Not the best first touch. Instead lays it off to his teammate.
Ooh, nasty cut from Vatira. Oh, and a great bounce.
Moist Esports are just double committing everything in defense. Like, that is the strategy now. Just go. Just send somebody. Just make sure you're not sending no one. And Vatira is, he was a little caught out in position. We're happy to see that Cash didn't really catch the ball too well. Joyo has, though. He's got that ball full under control. Ceiling reset. Just didn't make contact. That's the danger that Joyo poses.
Oh, hard off the wall and a score.
It's off the backboard. Juicy off the off angle. Can't generate any power. Oh, this can go either way. This really is series on, or
triple commit
everything. Well, the answer is now clear. This series is well and truly on.
Oh, everybody just dives at this ball. Juicy goes at it. Cash goes at it. The whole server was ready to play that ball in some way, and the only one who knew where it needed to go was Moist, that bottom left corner. A second triple commit in the series for K-Corp in the net. And it cost him. Moist finally get one back, and a whole bunch of shots here, but it was a pretty long game, all things considered.
It was a pretty long game. It was a pretty messy game. But messy Rocket League is my favorite Rocket League. Especially at the level that we find ourselves at now, because anything can happen. But I want to fully give credit to Juicy here. I think he's come under a lot of criticism over the past few weeks. And maybe even, at fault for the second goal that KC scored in this game. But when they've needed somebody to be there, quick on the read, he's been the goal provider for this team this series.
Yeah, he's getting the job done, and that's really all you can ask of anybody at the RLCS level. Like, nobody is out here on this pitch looking like they're outclassed or anything like that, and Juicy's definitely stepped up now that, Moist feels like, okay, we need to go out there, we need to get the job done, and I'm with you. He's performed incredibly well, especially in the series.
Well, we're at the point now in this series, Achieves, where the strengths and weaknesses seem to be very much laid out on the table. Still a very important match for Moist. Reverse sweep best of 7, very rare. Moist Esports, they'll wish that was a little bit rarer, considering that was one of their results earlier on in this split against Team Liquid.
Yeah,
still, 3-1 is also pretty rare at this level. Oh, Cash. Well, you believed, and who was I to doubt?
Oh, and he might score.
Oh my goodness,
he's got it. How about you just make the inside-out save on your net, absolutely crush Vatira on the challenge, and get the read with 12 boost and just lay it into the top of the net. The game is easy in the Dominus. I'm telling you guys, it's the best car.
I think Vatira was just as shocked as I was. He actually just did that to us. Cash dared to go an in-and-out save. Oh, wait, he's past me now. And... Oh,
whoa,
there we go.
What?
It feels like tradition at this point that any early lead that we see when we cast Achieves, it just disappears.
Okay, can we talk about Exotic just letting that ball go over his head? And just... that's amazing. Like, he threatens the shot, and again, it's that KC misdirection. Everybody's staring at Exotic. And then that ball just goes right back across, and he's in position to score, and Joyo just takes it right back. We don't have time to talk about anything neat because more neat things just happen.
This is the worst musty I've ever seen, and it worked out brilliantly. I hope that was intentional.
Drops the musty, gets the dunk, all calculated.
That was either really bad, it was good, or so good it was bad. It was either or.
You're not sure which one.
I really can't tell. I'm not the pro here, but it was one or the other. Right, well, 2-1. Lead re-established for Moist Esports. Oh, dearie me.
That's car soccer,
early
man.
challenge. Oh, are we going to see another lead just disappear? Well, my goodness, it actually did not come too far off. Now lays it back down for Exotic. They're beat to that ball. Who's first on the rotation back? It's Vatira. And that's the player whose name you wanted to hear me say if you're a KC fan.
Yep. At this point, I think you really should just send Vatira back on that deep island. Instead of letting him be first, let Itachi and Exotic worry about it. And huge stop again, Cash. He's firing barrage after barrage at that K-Corp net.
Itachi. And as far as Cash, who has been lethal in this game. Off the backboard, he's out of boost and requires a bit of help. Oh, the huge dive in. That'll be 2-2. Well, not for the first time. Moist Esports just caught jumping for it, although for Joyo, I don't necessarily blame him. His other option was Vatira hunting.
Yeah, his other option was get demoed or fake challenge and play the 2-on-1 with a bump come at him. Decided to take his best shot and maybe see if he could get there, throw it to the ceiling. It's never fun when you have to play that 2-on-1 back the other way. It looked a lot worse than it was.
think the only criticism you really levy there is Moist find themselves in that spot a lot. And that's either incredible work from KC or something is happening earlier in the plays that is kind of wrong footing Moist Esports. But still in this, they do remain the team that has kind of been on the front foot throughout this game. Off the wall, Itachi first to it. Cash to Juicy, who can recover that play. He's flailing. That first touch, yeah, a little bit too heavy for him. Itachi passed down to Vatira, puts it too high. And Vatira goes hunting yet again. Oh. What's more scary, Chief? Vatira on the ball or Vatira chasing you off the ball?
I think I'll be more terrified of Vatira off the ball, personally. Because he doesn't have to be on the ball to beat me.
Cash almost got read by Itachi. Zero again. That's a good first touch. Double commit again from Moist. And get them to work. It's the recovery afterwards, and nobody read that bounce.
Ooh, okay. Never mind. Is Vatira on the ball? He's disgusting.
I did kind of put you in a no-win scenario right there. That was the
no wrong
Ouroboros
answer.
question. Joy over the top does get bumped by Vatira. Cash off the wall. Now that's going to be fun to play. And Juicy fancied his chances. Joyo again. Ooh. Just not quite clicking at the moment. Vatira got one. That's put Juicy into a rough spot. Ooh. Exotic over the top, and that's early challenge. Moist Esports defense has got a lot better recently. Easy to criticize in game 1 and 2, but they're holding on, and now Joyo underneath. Could have actually followed that, but instead went for the boost.
Yeah, I didn't really know where to go, and I'm really wanting to see Joyo's really start to gain command of that ball when he takes it up into the air. He's actually found himself in some good spots. He's been in a position to make something happen, but just hasn't quite had that control. Chopped down from Exotic, smashed away by Juicy. 30 seconds left. Remains to be seen who's going to hold the edge in the final 30 seconds.
I definitely, yeah, I hear what you're saying. Oh, wait, Itachi! Look, it's Cash! Well, that is a difficult spot for Cash because it's so tempting to go early. Waited to see the shot, and he was lucky that it was close enough to him. But it was the right decision to make. And yet again achieves, like game 2, like game 3, it's the final few moments, and yet again it is KC that are probing. Although Cash on the counter, that's how we got one of our goals earlier on. Keeps the ball, pops it to nobody.
Nowhere to go, that ball gets stuck in the corner. That's unfortunately a Dominus weak spot. Going around that corner gets real tough. Little floater, but in general, I think Moist should be grateful to have the reset of OT. K-Corp starting to get a pretty solid grip at the end there.
Both these teams do still have access to their timeouts. I also feel like both these teams not necessarily known for using them. Oh, Itachi back pass to Exotic. And that was a little bit high as well. Exotic had to do some work. Do you see what you mean by Joyo as well? He's getting in lovely spots, but the mechanics just aren't quite clicking for him.
And it's not like it's looked bad or anything. It's just, it hasn't quite broke the defense down in a way that you know he can.
The level is different for him because we expect so much.
Exactly. Like, right here, see what he can do.
That's better.
We'll take the bump. That's good enough. Now he just needs to boost.
Oh! Oh, that's just a moment. Every single time you read the name Cash on that ball, you just start to believe.
And that level of aggression from Juicy on that follow-up, too. That's a big part of why I've really liked how he's looked. He's willing to go up there, try and make the follow-through in the right spot. Sure, the defense makes the stop, but he's putting that pressure on the opposition. You like to see that speed and willingness to go make the play.
The recovery as well. Juicy gets hit. Itachi does win, but he's out of boost. Decides to stick with it. Needs to do something well here because he's going to be late on the rotation back if this ends up being a breakaway for Moist. KC just settling down for now. Cash for both the free jump and the recovery. And goes Exotic. Ceiling. Realize he doesn't have it because Vatira does! Gets it back to Exotic! That's how you win in overtime.
Oh, man, and Cash just worked that ball out to the side, but it didn't matter because Vatira was out disrupting people on the goal line, found himself on the backboard, says, hang on, I can get this one down to you. What a touch, and what a follow-through from KC. Didn't really... Well, you knew there was something possible, but it's another matter entirely for it to actually happen, right?
It was one of those overtimes where KC just looked like they knew. Like they were so comfortable leaving players on the backboard over for the boost of Moist Esports that, yeah, they just looked like they were so comfortable with the fact that it was OT. You wouldn't have even known that we were in that position. But Moist Esports, well, no timeout called from what I'm hearing, so they are willing to run the gambit.
I guess. That's an option. Do I hate it? I don't know. I feel like there's something.
I feel like they've all been close. It's all 1-goal games going to overtimes. Like, yeah.
Yeah. Oh man, what a touch from the top. So good.
Just watch the Joya one from the stream replay. That's nasty. There's been so many positions that you watch the defenders get stuck in and just say, well, I'm glad that's not me. You know what?
I do not envy you.
Yeah, there is very little winning in this sort of position.
Man, it's so tough though if you're Moist now. You're obviously match point, potential elimination, of course, but it's really obviously not the end goal here. All their hopes rest on a Hogan mode squad at this point. They'd like to keep going, certainly, and if you want to keep playing against K-Corp, something's got to give, because I think it's kind of been, 4 games straight, sort of the same idea, and K-Corp across the board has shown that, in general, they're getting the better of it.
Those of you just starting to catch up for us today, Moist Esports are still not qualified. Hogan Mode are the team that are holding them off at the moment. If K-Corp go ahead and win, and at this moment in time, that does look like a very real possibility. Hogan Mode will have the opportunity to run the gauntlet tomorrow, win the entire tournament, and go to the major, despite not making it to the Spring Cup. Don't want to miss that. I'm not saying it's going to happen. Oh, no. Oh, you hate to see that happen.
Oh, yeah, forget Hogan Mode. Vatira clean through one. Great job. Joyo just taking away the flick to the top corner. But look at how Vatira handled it. He said, okay, I'll just stay on the ground and let you hit it back into me and go across the baseline. And everybody on Moist just not in a position to handle that one. It's so well played from Vatira.
It's really the wind out of the sails for Moist Esports, who need to get a foothold here. They've got a long way to go. They've got won 3 in a row against the KC side that look angry, look upset that they have found themselves in the lower bracket so earlier on. It's supposed to be only Vitality that can do that to them. Yes, prove to add themselves to that list. Doing well here. Nice pop down to the middle. Who's the first to it? It's Exotic, who has been the MVP for me of this series. He's everywhere. So dangerous every time he's on the ball. Oh, that's okay. Well, you've kept it out. But that does not gloss over the mistake that went into putting them into that position.
The chance to recover, I think, is all they care about. It's just, okay, can we just get out of our own half for 5 seconds? And they just keep putting the ball straight onto a KC player. Cash finally says, forget all that, just rip one towards the net, and yeah, it probably should have been, and he actually had everything to pick from.
Yeah, for once, Vatira would not have got there. I don't actually think I've said that sentence in my entire casting career, so that one was weird. Exotic goes for top bins, almost found it. Nobody was jumping if he did get it on target.
They're all scared of KC. Cash just jumped, tried to cover up something that he thought was there. You said it earlier on in game 1, they're jumping at ghosts.
It's just been difficult for Moist Esports to set their pace. It's not being helped by the fact that KC are playing as well as they have been. Now Cash, what little bit of magic can he provide? Oh, that should have been it.
Ooh. Not sure if Joyo ran out of boost to make that final adjustment, but oh, so close. Okay, a lot of time. Make something happen. Never mind. Double demo. Goodbye.
Oh, Juicy
and it's
not there either.
What is this game?
It's worst case scenario for Moist Esports. It really is.
Oh, he's just trying to win the challenge, and it goes off the ceiling and straight into the top corner.
It's top
You
corner as
gotta
well.
be
That
kidding.
feels personal. That feels like physics have just decided they don't like you today.
That does feel like, well, what can you do? type of day.
What they might be able to do at this point is hope that KC can not only go on from beating them, but go on to beat Moist Esports Hogan Mode tomorrow. Obviously, off the interview that we had with Joyo earlier on, he wants to do that himself. That is a long way off, given the position that they found themselves in. Clear again. Moist Esports need 3 games in a row. They need 3 goals in a row. They need an awful lot.
Oh, Vatira just smothering people, and they force Juicy to the floor. I mean, KC, they've got a death grip on this midfield right now.
Back forward to Itachi. KC just
Oh
happy
my
to
goodness.
linger on back.
Oh my
That's
goodness.
so good. That's so good. That's so good.
Tachi across. I mean, Vatira, look at that recovery. He got bumped into it, and he says, yeah, we can still make that work.
You know what? From my angle, I originally thought that he'd wave dashed into the speed
Now,
boost.
that would have been nuts.
Yeah, I'll put my hand up. My bad. I believed.
And it's another moment of course it works out. If you're KC, right?
It does feel personal.
Oh,
doesn't
my
it? Oh,
goodness.
it's gone. Okay, it's gone.
Moist, it's been fun, but you can't stop this train right now. It's rolling through.
I'm watching all of this, and my mind keeps going back to game 2. 1 second left. What this series could have been. But that one went against Moist Esports. They lost it in the overtime. We saw what they
That
did
one
in
and the
the
rest.
next 2 games. Yeah, it just feels... I mean, not this game notwithstanding, but when everything was on a knife edge, KC won. Like, they've had the ice when it was required.
As they justifiably have been known to do, and there's a reason they were #1 in Europe for a long time. They're a tough team to beat, and it takes some inspired players to make sure that happens.
Trying to find anything here from Moist Esports, but
It's
KC are offering them nothing. They've got eyes set elsewhere.
that is the right way to say it. Literally nothing. It's not even like table scraps of look, we double committed and we have an island. It's just no. This ball is going nowhere that you want it to. You have no options. It's that type of field coverage. It's insane.
I kind of forgot this map had a blue side of the field. That's the way that this game has gone. But it is KC that move on. Moist Esports have not booked their spot just yet. They will have to beat spectators tomorrow. They go from enemies of KC to their biggest fans. Hogan Mode and Moist Esports, the final 2 teams in contention. And the storyline is, Hogan Mode have to win the entire event.
Oh, they're gonna score it. They just were not willing to let this one go without one more goal explosion.